Stop. Do not scroll past this. My beloved child, I have stopped you here for a reason. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment. Others may scroll, but you were meant to hear this, because the throne has seen your tears, and I am carrying a message that will change your reality instantly. Do not skip your blessing. Everything is about to be fine. Listen. Stop letting despair control your thoughts, your health, your finances, your dreams, your family. All of it is covered by heaven's power. The Creator sees what you've lived through, and despite every circumstance trying to crush you, you're still standing. That's not luck. That's divine protection. Heaven doesn't want you worrying anymore, doesn't want anxiety stealing another day from you. I've come to bring comfort to your soul, to fill your heart with peace that makes no logical sense. Don't stop listening to these words. Even if something tries to interrupt, focus your heart on what I'm saying. This is the answer you've waited for, the one you've prayed for at night when everyone else was asleep. The throne is taking care of those who seek to harm you, every single one of them. You're His child, and He will never allow anyone to raise their hand against you while you keep walking His path. While you feed on His word, while you come into His presence each morning, while you understand how important your loyalty is to heaven. Let me tell you about the nature of this divine comfort, because it's not what the world offers. The world gives temporary peace, fragile comfort that depends on circumstances going right. But the peace heaven brings, it's eternal, unshakable, rooted in the very nature of the Prince of Peace. When I say everything will be fine, I'm not offering you optimistic words to make you feel better for 5 minutes. I'm declaring over your life the sovereign decree of the Almighty, the one who holds the universe in His hands, the one who spoke creation into existence. This comfort penetrates deeper than any human consolation could reach. It goes beyond the surface of your emotions. It touches the very core of your being. That place where fear made its home. Those hidden chambers of your heart where despair whispered its lies. Heaven is coming to evict every dark thought, every tormenting doubt, every paralyzing fear. This isn't a bandage that covers wounds temporarily. This is healing balm that reaches into the depths of your soul. It restores what was broken, mends what was torn, rebuilds what was destroyed. When you feel overwhelmed, when waves of trouble crash against you and threaten to pull you under, heaven's peace stands as an anchor for your soul. It holds you steady when everything shakes, keeps you grounded when winds of adversity try to blow you off course. This peace is supernatural. It defies logic, transcends understanding. You can have peace in chaos, joy in sorrow, hope when everything seems hopeless. How? Because this peace isn't based on your circumstances. It's based on heaven's character. It flows from who He is, not from what's happening around you. The Creator never changes. Same yesterday, today, forever. His love for you is constant. His commitment to you is absolute. Therefore, the peace He gives you is stable, secure, regardless of what storms come. When heaven comforts you, He doesn't minimize your pain or dismiss your struggles. He sees every tear, knows every sleepless night, understands the weight you carry. He's intimately acquainted with your grief, familiar with your suffering. But he comes to you in your darkest hour to remind you, you're not alone. He hasn't abandoned you, hasn't forgotten you. Even when you couldn't see him or feel his presence, he was there, working behind the scenes, orchestrating events for your good, preparing blessings you can't yet imagine. This comfort comes in many forms. Sometimes it's a gentle whisper assuring you of his love. Sometimes it's a word from Scripture that speaks directly to your situation. Sometimes it's the kindness of a friend who shows up exactly when you need them. Sometimes it's simply the quiet, knowing deep in your spirit that heaven is with you. This divine comfort has the power to transform your perspective. What looked like a dead end, it becomes a doorway to new opportunities. What seemed like failure, it becomes set up for greater success. What felt like rejection, it becomes redirection towards something better than you imagined. Heaven's peace guards your heart and mind. It protects you from attacks of the enemy. When darkness tries to fill your thoughts with worry and anxiety, peace blocks it. You can recognize lies for what they are, reject them before they take root. You can stand firm in truth, in who heaven is, in who you are in him. This peace also gives you strength to keep moving forward when you feel weak. It renews your energy, restores your hope. It reminds you this difficult season is temporary. Better days are coming. It assures you heaven is working all things together for your good. Even the painful things. Even the things that make no sense right now. When you receive this comfort and peace, you become a vessel through which heaven can comfort others. Your testimony of his faithfulness becomes hope for those walking through valleys. The peace you carry becomes contagious, spreading to those desperate for relief. This is heaven's heart for you today. He wants you experiencing the fullness of peace that surpasses understanding. He wants you knowing the depth of comfort that heals the deepest wounds. He wants you resting in assurance that he's in control and everything truly will be fine. Not because your circumstances are perfect, but because he is perfect. And his plans for you are good. If you receive this divine peace into your heart right now, type 111 to lock it within your soul. You need to understand a profound truth about heaven's sovereignty over your life. There is nothing that happens that escapes his notice. Nothing falls outside his control. Not a single sparrow falls without his knowledge. And you are worth far more than many sparrows. The circumstances you are in right now passed through his hands before they reached you. I know life feels chaotic right now. You wonder if anyone is in charge. But know this: heaven is seated on the throne. Nothing takes him by surprise. Nothing catches him off guard. When you face difficult circumstances, you have a choice. Trust his control or panic and try to control everything yourself. Heaven invites you today. Stop trying to manipulate outcomes. Stop forcing doors open. Instead, cast all your cares on him. His sovereignty is your safety net. It is the reason you can sleep peacefully at night. No matter what happens, you are held in the hands of the Almighty. Nothing can separate you from His love. Nothing can snatch you from His hand. If you are ready to let go of control and trust Him completely, type "I trust you" to surrender your worries right now. Now I must speak about breaking chains of anxiety and worry. These heavy chains have wrapped around your mind and heart for too long, restricting your freedom, limiting your joy, preventing you from experiencing abundant life. Anxiety is a thief that robs you of peace in the present by filling your mind with fears about the future. Worry is a liar that convinces you you're alone, that you must figure everything out yourself. But I'm here today to shatter these chains, set you free. Anxiety often begins with a seed of legitimate concern. But when you water it with negative thoughts, nurture it with fearful imaginations, it grows into a thorny vine that chokes out faith and hope. You replay worst-case scenarios, catastrophize situations that haven't even happened. You lose sleep over problems that may never materialize. You carry tomorrow's troubles on top of today's responsibilities, and the burden becomes unbearable. But heaven never intended for you to carry tomorrow's burdens today. He gives you grace for each day, sufficient for that day alone. When you try to carry future weight, you're operating outside His grace. That's why it feels so heavy and overwhelming. The Creator wants to teach you a different way to live. Instead of allowing thoughts to spiral into anxiety, bring every thought captive to Him. When worry enters your mind, don't give it permission to set up residence. Immediately bring it in prayer. Tell heaven about your concern. Cast that care upon Him. Then choose to trust He's heard you and will take care of it. This isn't denial, not pretending the problem doesn't exist. It's actively choosing faith over fear, acknowledging that while the concern is real, His power and faithfulness are greater than any problem. Anxiety thrives in darkness of isolation, but withers in light of His presence. When you spend time with heaven, reading His word, worshiping Him, anxiety loses its grip. His perfect love casts out fear. His promises replace your worries with hope. His presence reminds you you're not alone. Don't have to figure everything out yourself. One of the greatest sources of anxiety? The illusion of control. You think if you worry enough, you can prevent bad things. You think if you obsess over details, you can guarantee positive outcomes. But this is a lie. Worry doesn't empty tomorrow of troubles. It only empties today of strength. Control is an illusion. You're not in control, never were. But that's good news, because heaven is in control, and He knows exactly what He's doing. When you try to maintain control, you exhaust yourself managing things beyond your ability. But when you surrender control to Him, you experience rest. You can sleep peacefully knowing He never sleeps. He's watching over you and your loved ones. You can face uncertainty with confidence, knowing He sees the end from the beginning. He's working all things according to His perfect plan. Anxiety also comes from comparison and competition. You look at what others have and worry you're falling behind. You compare your life to carefully curated social media posts and feel like you're not measuring up. You compete for status and success, and worry you're losing the race. But heaven didn't call you to compare yourself with others. He called you to run the race He set before you. He has a unique plan for your life that can't be compared to anyone else's journey. What He has for you is for you. What He has for them is for them. There's no competition in His kingdom, only cooperation and celebration. When you stop comparing and competing, a huge source of anxiety disappears. Another chain? Fear of man. You worry excessively about what people think, afraid of their judgment, criticism, rejection. You exhaust yourself trying to please everyone, gain their approval. But heaven wants you to understand, fear of man is a snare that will trap you, keep you from fulfilling your destiny. You can't live for heaven's approval and man's approval at the same time. When you seek to please Him above all else, you find freedom and peace no human approval could provide. People's opinions are fickle, constantly changing. But His opinion of you is settled and secure. You're His beloved child, precious in His sight. Nothing can change that. To break free from anxiety and worry, develop the discipline of gratitude. Anxiety focuses on what could go wrong. Gratitude focuses on what's going right. When you cultivate thankfulness, acknowledging and appreciating blessings already given, anxiety finds less room to grow. Start and end each day with gratitude. Thank heaven for the gift of life, for your health, for your family, for provision, for His faithfulness. Even in difficult seasons, you can find things to be grateful for. This practice retrains your brain to look for good instead of obsessing over bad. Heaven hasn't given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When anxiety attacks, it's not from Him. He brings peace. The enemy brings chaos. He brings clarity. The enemy brings confusion. He brings courage. The enemy brings fear. Learn to recognize the source of these thoughts. Refuse to accept them. Replace anxious thoughts with His truth. When you worry about finances, remind yourself He's your provider, will supply all needs. When you worry about health, remind yourself He's your healer, holds your life in His hands. When you worry about the future, remind yourself He goes before you to prepare the way. He'll be with you every step. Breaking chains of anxiety isn't a one-time event. It's a daily choice. Choose faith over fear. Choose trust over worry. Choose peace over panic. And day by day, step by step, you'll find yourself walking in greater freedom, experiencing peace that passes understanding, living the abundant life heaven promised you. Let heaven be the driver of your life. Let His Holy Spirit indicate the path you should follow. Thus, the wonderful plan He's drawn for you will be fulfilled. On the way, you'll meet people who want to harm you. Pray for them. Bless them even if they curse you. Don't pay attention to insults and traps they set to make you give up. Your enemies only seek to separate you from His presence, so you feel alone, weak, and in the end deny Him. But you don't retreat from those who want to humiliate you. Use His word as shield and sword. Remember everything He tells you. His word is life, gives you His wisdom. so you know what to do in moments of difficulty. What He's prepared for you, no one can take away. It's a covenant between you and Him. But He's not asking you for anything to fulfill His promises. He doesn't want your money. No one impresses Him with talents or riches. What He wants is your heart, that you give Him the place He deserves in your life, your home, your family. If you are ready to break the chains of anxiety forever, type 333 to command the fear to leave. Heaven wants to teach you what it means to walk in faith despite uncertainty. To move forward when you can't see the path ahead. To trust Him when everything around you seems unclear and confusing. Faith is not the absence of doubt or elimination of questions. Faith is choosing to trust His character and promises, even when you don't understand your circumstances. It's believing He's good even when life is hard. Confident. He's working even when you can't see any evidence of progress. Abraham is called the father of faith. Yet he was asked to leave everything familiar. Go to a place he'd never seen. Take steps into the unknown, trusting only heaven's promise. Noah built an ark when there was no sign of rain, enduring mockery because he believed heaven's warning. Moses led millions through a desert with no roadmap, depending on his guidance day by day. These heroes of faith didn't have all the answers, didn't know how everything would work out. They simply knew Him and trusted He was faithful. This is the faith heaven's calling you to today. You want certainty. You want guarantees. You want to see the entire staircase before you take the first step. But faith doesn't work that way. Faith requires you to take the first step, even when you can only see one step ahead. Faith asks you to obey His voice, even when the instruction doesn't make logical sense. Faith invites you to trust His heart when you can't trace His hand. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. The human mind craves predictability and control. You want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next year. You want assurance your plans will succeed, your efforts will pay off. You want proof everything will turn out okay. But if you had all the answers, you wouldn't need faith. If you could see the entire picture, you wouldn't need to trust Him. The very nature of faith requires some degree of uncertainty, because faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we don't see. I understand uncertainty feels frightening. When you don't know what the future holds, can't predict how situations will unfold, face multiple possible outcomes and none are guaranteed. It's natural to feel anxious and afraid. But this is precisely when faith becomes most powerful, most transformative. When you choose to trust heaven in the midst of uncertainty, you're making a declaration that His faithfulness is more reliable than your circumstances, that His promises are more trustworthy than your feelings, that His power is greater than your problems. Walking in faith despite uncertainty means you continue to obey even when you don't understand. Heaven may ask you to forgive someone who doesn't deserve it, instruct you to give when you feel you can't afford it, lead you to take a job that seems like a step backward, or to wait when you're eager to move forward. These instructions may not make sense to your natural mind, but they're part of His perfect plan for your life. When you obey in faith, you position yourself to receive blessings that you could never achieve through your own wisdom or effort. Faith, despite uncertainty, also means you continue to hope even when circumstances look hopeless. The diagnosis may be serious, but He's the God who heals. The financial situation may be dire, but He's the God who provides. The relationship may be broken, but He's the God who restores. The dream may seem dead, but He's the God who resurrects. Your hope isn't based on favorable circumstances. Your hope is anchored in His unchanging character and unfailing promises. Walking by faith requires you to focus on what you know rather than what you don't know. You may not know how He's going to resolve your situation, but you know He's able. You may not know when your breakthrough will come, but you know His timing is perfect. You may not know what the future holds, but you know who holds the future. Build your confidence on these certainties about His character. He's faithful, He's powerful, He's wise, He's loving, He's present. These truths about who He is never change, regardless of how your circumstances change. One of the greatest challenges in walking by faith, resisting the temptation to lean on your own understanding. Your mind will try to figure everything out, analyze every option, calculate every risk, predict every outcome. But heaven is asking you to trust Him with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He'll direct your paths. This doesn't mean you stop using the mind He gave you. It means you submit your thinking to His wisdom. You consider His word before your own opinions. You seek His guidance before important decisions. You trust His perspective even when it contradicts your own logic. Faith, despite uncertainty, also requires patience. You want immediate answers and instant solutions. You pray and expect Him to respond right away. But sometimes He works slowly, accomplishing purposes in you and through you that require time to develop. The waiting period isn't wasted time. It's when He builds character, deepens faith, teaches patience, prepares you for what's coming. Learn to rest in uncertainty, knowing He's at work even when you can't see it. Every question mark in your life is an invitation to trust Him more deeply. Every unknown variable is an opportunity to experience His faithfulness in new ways. Every uncertain situation is a chance to see Him do what only He can do. So don't fear the uncertainty. Embrace it as the environment where faith flourishes and His glory is revealed. Keep walking forward, one step at a time, trusting He's lighting the path ahead of you. Pray and trust in Him, because even if you don't see Him or feel Him, He dedicates Himself to working silently on the blessings He has for your life. Those worries going around in your head, that problem that doesn't let you sleep, put them in His hands. Tell Him what you feel, what's happening to you, what you need. He'll provide according to His will. Ask with confidence. He won't give you something that could harm you. He hears what you say through prayers and knows what you keep silent in your heart. For Him, there's nothing hidden. He'll be illuminating your path from above, so nothing and no one makes you stumble. Trust in Him. He'll seek you and lift you up. so you always come out victorious from your battles and reach your dreams with His blessing. If you are walking by faith and not by sight, type 444 to acknowledge the angels guiding your steps. I'm speaking to you. Your soul knows it. Your spirit feels it. This emotion that covers you tells you this is not a coincidence. You're hearing these words today because heaven loves you and knows very well what your heart needs. Let me reveal to you the depths of heaven's provision in times of need. For He is Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. His provision isn't limited to material things, though He certainly cares about your physical needs. His provision encompasses everything you need for life and godliness. He provides financially when you lack resources, wisdom when you face difficult decisions, strength when you're weak, comfort when you grieve, direction when you're lost, healing when you're sick, peace when you're anxious, joy when you're sorrowful, hope when you're discouraged. Whatever you need, He's able to provide it, because He owns everything. The cattle on 1,000 hills belong to Him. The silver and gold are His. The earth and everything in it is His. He created all things, sustains all things by the word of His power. There's no shortage in His kingdom, no scarcity in His storehouse, no limit to His resources. When He provides for you, He's not taking from a limited supply. He's drawing from infinite abundance. You can never exhaust His provision, never drain His resources. The more He gives, the more He has to give. This is the mathematics of heaven that defies earthly logic. He knows what you need before you ask, sees the lack before you feel it, is already preparing provision before the need arises. Nothing catches Him by surprise. Nothing finds Him unprepared. He's always one step ahead, making arrangements, opening doors, positioning people and resources to meet your needs at exactly the right time. But His provision often comes in unexpected ways. You look for provision from one source, and He provides from another. You expect provision in one form, and He sends it in a different package. You think you need one thing, and He gives you something else, because He knows what you truly need better than you know yourself. Be open to receiving His provision however He chooses to send it. Don't limit Him to your expectations. Don't restrict Him to your plans. He's creative. His ways are infinitely diverse. Sometimes He provides through miraculous intervention, multiplies loaves and fish, causes oil and flour to never run out, sends ravens with food, makes water flow from rocks, opens windows of heaven and pours out blessings you can't contain. These supernatural provisions demonstrate His power. Remind you He's not bound by natural laws or limited by physical constraints. Other times He provides through natural means, gives you a job that pays your bills, connects you with people who help you, gives you wisdom to manage resources well, opens doors of opportunity for legitimate income, blesses the work of your hands, causes you to prosper in your endeavors. These provisions may seem ordinary, but they're no less from Him than the miraculous ones. Whether He provides naturally or supernaturally, it all comes from His hand. His provision isn't just about giving you what you want. It's about giving you what you need according to His wisdom and timing. Sometimes He withholds things you desire because He knows they would harm you or distract you from His best. Sometimes He delays provision because the timing isn't right, or you're not yet ready to handle what He wants to give. Sometimes He provides less than you asked for because He's teaching you to trust Him daily rather than hoard for the future. Sometimes He provides more than you need so you can be a blessing to others. Trust that whatever He provides or doesn't provide, however He provides it, whenever He provides it, is exactly what's best for you. His provision also includes opening doors no one can shut. He creates opportunities where there were none, gives you favor with people who can help you, positions you in the right place at the right time, connects you with right resources, right information, right contacts. When He opens a door for you, don't hesitate or doubt. Walk through it with confidence, knowing He's prepared the way before you. And when He closes a door, don't try to force it open. Trust He's protecting you from something not in your best interest, or redirecting you towards something better. Now let me help you understand His timing versus your expectations. For this is an area where many struggle and become discouraged. You live in a world of instant gratification, where everything's available at the click of a button, where speed is valued above almost everything else. You've become accustomed to immediate results, quick answers, fast solutions. But Heaven's kingdom doesn't operate on your timeline. His ways are higher than your ways, His thoughts higher than your thoughts. What seems slow to you is perfectly timed in His eternal perspective. You pray and expect immediate answers. You work hard and expect immediate success. You plant seeds and expect immediate harvest. But He's teaching you patience, faith, and trust through the waiting. The delay is not denial. The wait is not wasted. He's working even when you can't see it, preparing things behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, changing hearts, opening doors, removing obstacles, all in His perfect timing. Abraham waited 25 years for the son Heaven promised. Joseph waited 13 years in slavery and prison before his dreams were fulfilled. Moses waited 40 years in the wilderness before being called to deliver Israel. David waited years between his anointing as king and his actual coronation. In each case, the waiting served a purpose. It developed character, tested faith, prepared them for what was coming, made the fulfillment sweeter and more appreciated. If heaven had given them what they wanted immediately, they wouldn't have been ready for it. The blessing would have overwhelmed them, or they would have taken it for granted. The delay was actually protection and preparation. The same is true for you. When He delays answering your prayer, it's not because He doesn't care or didn't hear you. It's because the timing isn't right yet. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe circumstances need to shift. Maybe other people need to be positioned. Maybe He's testing your faith to see if you'll continue to trust Him, even when you don't see results. Maybe He's doing something bigger and better than you asked for, and it requires more time to orchestrate. Whatever the reason, you can trust His timing is perfect. He's never early, never late. Always arrives at exactly the right moment. If you believe your miracle is arriving at the perfect time, type 888 to claim your abundance. My beloved child, there is tremendous power in seeking heaven daily at the start of each day. The way you begin your day sets the trajectory for everything that follows. Morning is a sacred time, a fresh beginning, when you wake up and reach for heaven first. You are inviting him to set the agenda, to order your steps, to fill your heart with his peace before the chaos of the world tries to enter. His light dispels the darkness of fear that accumulated during the night. His truth replaces the lies the enemy whispered while you slept. Morning prayer also equips you spiritually for the battles you will face during the day. I ask you now to put on the full armor of heaven. Take up the shield of faith to extinguish the fiery darts of the enemy. Put on the helmet of salvation to protect your mind from doubt. Take up the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God, to cut through every obstacle. You wouldn't go out into a storm without appropriate clothing. Do not go out into the spiritual battles of life without your armor. When you start your day with prayer, your whole day becomes a continuous conversation with him. You walk in his presence. You carry his peace. So treat your time with him as the most important appointment of your day. Seek him first, and everything else will fall into place. If you promise to seek him first, type "I seek you" to make this vow to heaven. So I invite you again today and every day. Come to heaven in the morning. Seek his face before you face the world. Fill your mind with his truth before the lies bombard you. Receive his peace before the chaos surrounds you. Get your marching orders from him before you start marching, and watch how he transforms your days, one morning at a time, as you make him your first priority and your greatest treasure. Give him the opportunity to renew your way of thinking. When you pray, feel very sure he's going to listen to you. He'll pay attention to you and give the answer to your heart. He surrounds you with mercy in such a great and wonderful way, sweeter than honey, clearer than the light of day. This divine love illuminates every corner of your life. It erases your past, the mistakes that have tormented you. It cleanses your mind of bad thoughts. He removes from your soul all impurity, leaves your spirit new and resplendent, brilliant and resistant like a diamond. You're not alone. He's never left you. Not even for a second has he abandoned you. Now look at those problems for what they are. Just one more step on your path toward victory. All conflicts and complications stay below. Heaven doesn't give you permission to return to the past. Fix your eyes on the horizon. There are your blessings. Don't go back. There's nothing for you anymore in the land of loneliness. I want to speak one final truth that will anchor your soul. Establish your heart in unshakable confidence. The depth of heaven's love for you is beyond human comprehension. Yet it's the most real and powerful force in the universe. This love isn't conditional or temporary, doesn't depend on your performance or your perfection. It's eternal, unchanging, absolutely relentless in its pursuit of your highest good. He loved you before you were born, before the foundation of the world. He chose you, called you, destined you for relationship with him. When you were far from him, living in sin and rebellion, he loved you still. He demonstrated his love by sending his Son to die for you while you were yet a sinner. There's no greater love than this, that someone would lay down his life for his friends. And he did exactly that for you. Not because you deserved it, but because he determined to love you anyway. This love is fierce and protective. Like a lion guarding its cubs, he watches over you with jealous care. He won't allow anyone or anything to ultimately harm you or separate you from him. The enemy may attack, circumstances may threaten, people may disappoint, but his love surrounds you like an impenetrable fortress. No weapon formed against you will prosper, because his love shields you. No lie spoken about you will stand, because his love defends you. No plan devised against you will succeed, because his love fights for you. His love is also gentle and tender. Like a mother comforting her child, he holds you close to his heart, whispering words of encouragement, wiping away your tears, soothing your fears. When you're hurting, he hurts with you. When you're rejoicing, he rejoices with you. He's intimately involved in every aspect of your life, not as a distant observer, but as a loving father who delights in his child. Every detail matters to him because you matter to him. When I tell you everything will be fine, believe it. Not because you can see how it will work out, but because you know who is working it out. Not because the path is clear, but because the guide is faithful. Not because you have all the answers, but because you know the one who does. Your health situation will be fine. Either heaven will heal you supernaturally, or sustain you through illness, or take you home where there's no more pain. In every scenario, it will be fine, because he's with you, and nothing can separate you from his love. Your financial situation will be fine. Either he'll provide miraculously, or teach you to live with less and find contentment, or open new doors of opportunity. In every scenario, it will be fine, because he owns everything and promises to supply all your needs. Your family situation will be fine. Either he'll restore broken relationships, or give you peace in dysfunction, or surround you with spiritual family. In every scenario, it will be fine, because he's the father to the fatherless and defender of those abandoned. Every area of your life that concerns you today is under his watchful care. He's not worried about any of it, not scrambling to figure out solutions, not overwhelmed by complexity of your circumstances. He's already worked out every detail, already prepared the way, already secured the outcome. All that remains is for you to trust him and walk forward in faith, knowing everything will be fine. So lift up your head, straighten your shoulders, wipe your tears, take a deep breath, and walk forward with confidence, not in yourself, but in him. He's leading you to a place of blessing, peace, and fulfillment. The journey may have rough patches, but the destination is glorious. Trust the process. Trust his timing. Trust his methods. Trust his heart. And most of all, trust his promise. Everything will be fine. This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't denial of reality. This is faith in the God who controls reality, who shapes outcomes, who works miracles, who keeps promises, who loves you with everlasting love, and will never let you down. Everything will be fine because he said so. and His word never fails. Be strong and brave. Put aside everything that steals your energy. When light of day sings through your window, bend your knees. Bring Him your requests. You will never be defeated. Don't stray from His ways, because He'll never stray from you. Don't forget you're His beloved child, and He'll bless you today, tomorrow, and always. When things don't go well, don't fear, don't feel bad. You're not alone. He's with you, protects you, cares for you, wants to help you and guide you so you find the solution to your conflicts. He's lifting right now that weight of worry that steals your spirit. You gave Him your heart. He takes care of your situation. He hears your pleas, doesn't ignore your suffering. These words cover you with security, peace, joy, confidence. Your heart feels this hope that floods you like a glass filling with water, overflowing with joy, sharing with your loved ones this beautiful emotion. Let these phrases charged with love anchor your soul. Heaven knows it hasn't been easy to believe and leave everything in His hands. That sometimes you feel nothing's happening, that you talk to Him in prayers, and He remains silent. Discard those thoughts from your mind. Occupy yourself with His word, with praying, with thinking, with appreciating blessings around you. In times of struggle, He'll come and show you the way. He'll lift your arms, give you rest, strengthen your faith. He'll write His promises in your heart forever. Stay in contact with Him. Don't ignore His calls when He wakes you. Don't cover your ears with your pillow. Don't fill your morning reading lies. Don't give first place to notifications that steal your time and rob you of desire to pray. My beloved child, I have delivered this message unto your spirit. Now I place my seal of peace upon you. If you accept this healing, type Amen 777 to seal your destiny. And if you wish to stay under this divine protection, join this family of light by pressing the subscribe button. Do not walk alone anymore. I love you. Everything is going to be fine, always. Amen.